past several days, I've had several people contact me and tell me that they've seen my YouTube videos. Well, I got to thinking that really I haven't done like a real YouTube video. I mean, I've done little portions of video, but I haven't done a major video. So I'm going to give that a try. So the older plants you just saw that we swept by already were vintage. Those that I'm leaving now are glow. These are still a numbered variety. And then in the far distance there, I have an experimental block. It's hard to see. And then the older plants here are all the praise. And as you can see, there are a lot of plants. We have here about 13 acres. And this is a newly planted section here. And that's praise. And it goes all the way down below this. It's a little hard to get to from where I'm at. And I'll try to add that shot from down below. I'll walk down below. So when I say I haven't really done a full-blown video, I mean I haven't talked about all of the pros and cons of dragon fruit growing. Oop, went a little fast past the irrigation. And here we are, back to the vintage. Alright, so here I am in the middle of the vintage. And this is on our newest trellis system. Trellis system is so complicated. You've got these really heavy plants that have to be kept upright. But that's for another topic. I'm just going through the overview of this system with varieties and work. And as you can see here, what we've got is we've got to grow all these plants out, stakes. We've got to grow all these, I say grow, we got to install all this trellis system, which we buy scrap metal and weld ourselves. And then there's the irrigation lines and wire and concrete posts. And then there's the labor of installing everything, trying to protect it from gophers and rabbits. And so this is the newer section here. This is about a year old. We got some fruiting in here last year, but this is, and here's where we start the horticulture aspect. This is a variety that I put in because it's an early season variety like the physical graffiti. It comes in first in California. Well, actually American Beauty comes in first, but American Beauty has real problems. Let's see, okay, I'm gonna pause. Okay, I was talking about American Beauty. This is the new glow section, but the American Beauty is high quality fruit. It's what they call Hyloceras guatemalensis. And in other words, it's pure Guatemalan. And like Condor. Condor's another in this group. There's several in this group. And the problems with pollination, like at some times in the sequence of flowering, they set, and then other times they don't. And so it's an unreliable bearer for commercial production. So what you need is a variety like this one, which is Glow, that is self-fertile red now. We're talking about red flesh varieties. We can talk about white flesh varieties, but that is complicated because virtually all commercial or all available white flesh varieties are not very sweet. Here in this section next to the Glow, I have some very sweet, in fact there's as sweet as any of my reds, white flesh varieties, but they're under test. They have these variabilities that are sometimes problematic, like virtually all of the dragon fruit varieties. So I was talking about American Beauty, Physical Graffiti, I was talking about Vintage being early like Physical Graffiti. Well, these characteristics that I'm talking about are characteristics that are so important for the commercial grower. You can't have this many plants of the same variety when everything comes into production and then suddenly there's no production and the market's screaming for more, or they're screaming for less when you have all the production. Your labor is complicated because you need all this labor at one time, and then suddenly you don't need any labor. I mean, really, you've done all the work in the off season, like now. So you can see that what I'm trying to describe is that it takes a group of varieties that will blend well together. So I think Physical Graffiti is an okay variety. That's the S1 from Paul Thompson. And I grow a few, but I don't really sell them. I don't like it as much as I like, say, the Vintage. So I can see now, and even in, giving a full-blown video, that it's very difficult to address this industry of dragon fruit in detail because there's so many subtleties. Okay, so moving down in the field here, you can see that we pruned up the plants. I brought most of the material into the center rows so that it could dry out, otherwise it tends to root underneath the plants. And in my system, I need to lighten the load of the trellis a little bit, because what happens is this system, which is my older system, tends to pull up at the ends a lot of weight. So I have here a brace on top of the concrete and the support posts. So that's what we have here. I'm gonna pan around. I'm here today because I wanted to check out my roads. We don't have a tractor here anymore, so we put a lot of the debris in the roads, and it held up pretty good. So there's road maintenance. That's just standard farm care. Weeding, standard farm care. Gopher trapping, standard farm care. Squirrel damage, rabbit damage, bird damage, all standard farm care. But then you get to something like dragon fruit. What's the specifics of dragon fruit? Well, here we can see that I've got yellowing. Well, what's that due to? Well, in this case, probably the cold. Well, more than probably. It's due to the cold on slightly stressed plants from the season. the season, I wasn't able to adequately maintain the plants during the crop season. We were so busy. They went a little bit in decline, and now the cold is a little harder on them. Murphy's Law. So I was up on the top of that section right up there when we started, and I did that 360, talking about vintage. So now I walked down to the bottom, and Murphy's Law, it started raining. Oh, you can see the dragon fruit. It's not that easy to see my screen now. So this wraps around and goes down. As I said, 13 acres, probably 12,000, 13,000 plants. Probably about 8 different varieties, let's say.